Hello there folks, sitting here at my favorite bench right above Lake Sticksjön, and thought it was a good idea to do an outdoor vinyl CD update before the summer happenings, and we're hopefully will do a whole lot of summer findings at the outdoor flea markets and so on, and when you're out traveling. And when I now have found a pretty good stack for once, I thought it was a good idea to do another vinyl CD update and do it outdoors now when it is pretty warm for once and no wind. So let's start with, believe it or not, a VHS. It's not often I show that, but now for once, Phil Collins, the singles collection, videos. I have a triple CD with the songs since before, but this is an older VHS compilation. We have some CD singles, also a format that I don't show that much. UB40 and a summer classic that I was glad to finally find. Their version of Elvis Presley's I Can't Help Falling in Love with You from the Sliver movie with Sharon Stone. Great Now When Summer Arrives. We have Eagles, Get Over It, from the Hell Freezes Over album. An album that I wasn't that pleased with as I should. But there were some good songs on it. So I thought I paid 10 cents for these CD singles, so why not? Peter Gabriel, Gimme Steam. And the great funky and then the groovy stuff with a great video created by the same guy who did Sledgehammer and the Big Time video in the 80s. Jumper, Swedish pop group that were big in the 90s. This is one of the lesser known songs, Våran hemlighet, Our Secret. Pure Swedish 90s pop. And I also found some stuff that 90% of you don't know what it is. Some 90s techno, trance disco stuff. Capella, Move On Baby, we have Pinocchio, Swedish guy, Marusha and so on. And great to have find some 90s stuff also. Now, vinyl singles. Prince, Bat Dance. A single that I, believe it or not, didn't have, and I wanted to have for quite some time. A really funky, groovy, unpredictable soundtrack to the 1989 Batman movie. From the time when those comic book superhero movies wasn't that ordinary as it is today. Remember Mandy Smith? The girl who once were married to Jane Wyman. Bill Wyman. No, she was not married to Jane Wyman from Falcon's Crest. But she also had a recording career after that in the late 80s, and were produced by Stock Aitken Waterman and the studio musicians around there. So this is Boys and Girls from 1988, released on Stock Aitken Waterman's PWL label. He's My Boy at the B-side. Mai Tai, which were kind of a Dutch Pointer Sisters wannabe. I also paid 10 cents for these vinyl singles. I thought, why not give it a chance, even though I'm no huge fan of Pointer Sisters 80s, with some exceptions. But interesting to try out. Martika, Colored Kisses from the Martika's Kitchen album. The third single, I think. I don't buy that much Barry White, much because I think most of his songs sound pretty much alike, all of them. But he still is a great composer and especially a great producer. So I thought for 10 cents definitely was interesting to have. What am I gonna do with you, baby, from 1975. CDs. Swedish saxophone player Hacke Björksten that passed away, I think 1.5 years ago. This is an album called 3 Generations, and it's really 3 generations of musicians playing here. They're born everything from 1940s, 50s to the 80s. And released on my favorite Swedish label, Dragon Records. And this, I listened to this one, it's highly recommended. It's really great, smooth, and amazing played Swedish jazz. Mosquitoes. That time again. This one I was pretty satisfied with finding. Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace soundtrack. Paid $2 for this soundtrack. And of course composed and conducted by John Williams. So it is original. And finally when it comes to CDs, 4 from the same series. I thought it was a good idea, especially since it has the little midnight feeling around it. Jazz round midnight, little mid-tempo to ballad softer jazz from the 50s and early 60s that I really like. So you can see here the great names. This is volume 4. And we have a volume 3. I listened to this one actually, and it is as soft and relaxing as I want it to be. Volume 2, Miles Davis, If I Were a Bell, from the Relaxing with Miles album. Really, really amazing one. Great to have on CD also. And Volume 1. So very satisfied with these CDs. Really nice to listen to when you're sitting late evenings and just working with a blog or something like that, trying to relaxing. So now let's move on to full-length vinyls. It's been great days, great weeks for that, for once. Here we have jazz and 70s, in that order also right now. This is a compilation. As you don't know, as you don't buy all that much compilations. It's much because many of them consist stuff that I have 99% of it. But both with the Round Midnight compilations and this, I've managed to find for once compilations with stuff I didn't have since before. This is Storyville, a record label, and Swing Classics Volume 1, 44 to 45, and it contains a whole lot of stuff that I never had before. I'm not going to say that it's a perfect album. Listen to it. It's a really good album, but for a record that labels itself as Swing Classic, was pretty low tempo on it. Sometimes even blues style. So I thought it was some tracks I was a little disappointed at, but still it contains some really great stuff also. So it will stay in the collection, at least for the moment. So it was a really great album. This one was interesting. This is Lionel Hampton and his orchestra, and it looks very much low budget, and it is Fontana. It is a reissue. It's a live concert, which is very interesting, since in the back lyrics, the back text on the back, they tried to downgrade it, as you can see, live with quotation marks, trying to insinuate that it should be some kind of a trick recording, and these 1954 quotation live recordings illustrate the electrified atmosphere with the Hampton concert take place. But it is live. It is a reissue from a very famous Lionel Hampton live album. So I don't know what they're trying to say with this one, but musically it is fantastic. It's one of the best Lionel Hampton live recordings that I have. Will I buy the original? I don't know. Now when I have this one, it is definitely the same album, not missing anything. So, but it is really amazing live set. This one was also very fascinating. Benny Berrigan, All Stars, 1936, a demonstration of swing. This is a radio show that was broadcasted on WNEW back in 1936, where they tried to educate people in what then was very new and hip, called swing. Originally it was scheduled to be Louis Armstrong, but he got ill and they had to replace him with Benny Berrigan. Definitely a good replacement, because as you have seen before, I'm a fan of Benny Berrigan. This is a very interesting album with Marshall Stern and K.K. Hansen as commentators, trying to talk about the history of swing, history of jazz, and what a jam session are, and the band Benny Berrigan's All Stars tried to play examples. So it is definitely a unique recording that Allmark Record Company had released to actually save this unique radio show for forever. So this is definitely a very special and great thing to have, especially since I also like all radio shows. Now we are not leaving jazz. No, I thought so, but not just yet. We have Jerry Mulligan and one of these Verve Jazz series. This is recording from 57 to 60, containing these musicians, and does not contain some of the all the time released stuff that you always see when it comes to Jerry Mulligan releases. More swing, more jazz of the cool jazz style. Is West Coast Jazz, Shorty Rogers, released on Atlantic's That's Jazz series, which normally means that it's a reissue of an existing album. In this case, called also West Coast Jazz, from 1955. With these musicians. Now we go down to one musician, a piano player, and we go back in time. Jelly Roll Morton and piano solos recorded from piano rolls from 1924, released on this Everest Records. Some of these songs I have on a double album set that I bought in Stockholm at Record Mania a couple of years ago. Some of you might have seen it. I think I even showed it in my Stockholm compilation recently. But a few of these I didn't have either. So it will definitely stay. And also fun to have in General Morton with only piano solos, as the double album contains both solos and group recordings. Now we're leaving jazz and go to 70s. A couple of days ago I was at a very special event at the City Square, where they had a car boot sale. There were cars around the statue on the square, and they were selling from those backs of those cars, and it was a real fun thing. and I managed to find 3 records, all from the 70s. This is the Blue Notes. And now you might think, wait a minute, there's missing something here. Yes, it is. Harold Melvin, where's he? I didn't know that the Blue Notes had released an album on their own. And this is The Truth Has Come to Light, from 1977. So this is a very interesting one to listen to. David Ruffin, Everything's Come Up Love. A Motown release, 1976. Paid $2 for these 2. And I paid $1 for this album from 1974, my birth year. The Doobie Brothers, What Are Once Vices Are Now Habits. And this is Doobie Brothers before Michael McDonald. I don't have anything against Doobies with Michael McDonald. I'm enjoying their soft AOR. So this is going to be very, very interesting. And finally, bought at the New Stallet, a record store. This is Anne Murray and Keep in Touch, 1976. I prefer Anne Murray when she plays those more singer-songwriter style, popular style, than her country ballads. But as far as I heard, this is more of that style. So hopefully this will be very, very great. So it was fun to do a very odd vinyl CD update outdoors. So it'll be interesting to see if the next one will be in mid-late August, when I'm showing my summer findings, but that depends on what I find, how much I find. So until next time, take care everybody, have a nice time, no matter where you are, no matter what you do, take care and so long.